everybody. This is another message I got off of YouTube. I actually got this one a month ago and I started reading it and I stopped the video because like I said, I usually read these things cold so you get a natural reaction out of me. But about halfway through, I realized because the person told me that they were 17 and I wasn't sure whether to go forward with it or not because the person is under 18. But I realized that most of the problems we have started in our childhood, so I probably shouldn't, for lack of a better word, discriminate from somebody underage who's actually in this situation this early in life. So, I guess I owe it to the person to read the email and give my honest analysis of it. So here we go. I am desperate for someone to shine some sanity and light into this dark wasteland of a family I live in. It was hard to write this out because when I try and write about my painful past and present, my brain tends to go blank. And that's very typical of somebody who suffered from narcissistic abuse. For years, I talked about when I thought about my past being in a sphere where I'm in the middle of the sphere and everything around me is spinning and you just can't make any sense of it. So I understand that where you can't verbalize, you can't write it down, you can't explain it. It's something we talk about quite often when dealing with narcissistic abuse. Hello, Mr. Matthews. I've been watching your videos for a while and I really do appreciate your videos as they help me help a lot of people like me. I don't know if you will read this or respond, but I hope you can give me perhaps some sort of guidance. This year has been the worst year of my entire life. I was diagnosed with severe PTSD, major depression, panic disorder, and many specialists have said that my levels of stress are so high that I even show symptoms of psychosis. Otherwise, I have no personality disorders and have a great sense of myself. My mother, on the other hand, is a malignant narcissist, as was her mother. And, this runs in the family, and it's a cycle, and it's passed down from generation to generation until somebody decides to break the cycle. She abused me my whole life, gaslighting, physical abuse, sadism, all her nasty sociopathy. She lied to me about my father and convinced me he had done so many horribly repulsive things, most of which she herself had done. And that's called projection, and the narcissist loves to project. And I barely realized this, and I barely realized about this until January of this year. But I am still very confused. I am confused about my father, why he let her abuse me for so many years and only feels sorry for himself. Do I feel sorry for him? Do I feel sorry for him? Do I allow him into my life? Why he kisses her and hugs her like nothing is wrong. A week after saying I will divorce that crazy lunatic. I have time to find a wife. He is almost 60 and my mother is almost 50. His lies are like a blanket to keep him warm at night from the cold truth. He will come and drop his emotional baggage on me wherever he wants to vent, and then goes back to hugging and spooning his wife. My mother did the same thing, but my mother lied about his actions. He is just a weak coward who needs release. My anger comes from that feeling of being used. My mother did the same thing. Sometimes I feel incredibly sorry for him, but then other times he acts like a raging hypocrite. At times he seems narcissistic. I would like to mention now that I am 17 years old. I didn't want to mention this right away because I was afraid you would assume I did not know enough about narcissism to diagnose my mother as one and dismiss me. I am not sure what I should do now. I live every day in agonizing pain. If I am not being triggered by my PTSD, I am being abused emotionally. Just today, I woke up and accidentally, just today, I woke up early and accidentally woke up my younger brother, thinking he was late for school. I have a horrible memory and I usually don't feel connected with reality. Then my father began to yell at me and assume I woke him up on purpose. Kept trying to make me feel bad, calling me a piece of shit, stupid, and that. Saying that I deserve to be treated like shit because I am shit. Then his wife shows up with this deeply disturbed look on her face, like a dumbfounded innocent deer, repulsive, and tells me to stop like some heroic like some heroic fucking hero, and I tell her to go fuck herself. Then yelling and arguing and contemplating suicide from the pain, crying but not a lick of empathy. This stuff happens at least once a week, and I know it's because he's simply trying to restore his ego from a week ago when he accidentally gave my brother a bottle of beer to drink before I noticed and told my father to be more careful. And he yelled at me, screamed at me, and called me a stupid piece of shit countless times. It is so painful, even at this point, to hear my own father spur such blind hate the same way my mother would. But I can't help but feel sorry for him and fall victim to self-pitying him and giving him empathy the more I spend time with him. This sick human used to lie to me about my father raping her and pretend she was repulsed by him. Then I would hear them go in the other room because she thinks it's cool. What the fuck? I remember once I asked her, Mom, does he rape you technically? And I will never forget, she looked at me and said yes, and then impulsively giggled. Well, this is a very long letter, so right here I'm going to tell you your parents having like a narcissistic sex addiction. They're sexually inappropriate. They're sexually aggressive. Your father is a narcissist. He's just more of a covert narcissist, whereas your mother's the overt narcissist. He's not really a covert narcissist either, because he outright dehumanizes you, calling you a piece of shit, and he knows the effects of his words. That's why he's doing it. So whatever emasculation your mothers get putting on him and he's taking out on you, it's part of their game. It's part of, their, unspoken plan, because they're not planning this stuff out when they attack you. But believe me, they both understand what the other one's doing and is supporting each other in their dysfunction. Anybody who giggles about being raped has something really seriously wrong with them. It appears to me that your father favors your brother, probably because you're a woman. I would suspect your father deep down really has no respect for women whatsoever, and guys like that look at their daughters as more as property than as their daughters or as anything else. As they're more like they own you, and that's where like the love, feel pity for me, and then the rage, the irrational rage comes from, because that's what my wife dealt with her father. The sexual inappropriateness, the name calling, the beatings. Okay, but then there was like this fake love that he would dole out, to keep her on the hook. So it seems to me that's something that's a lot like what you're dealing with. Okay. Back to my father. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this fucking guy. He always has been quick to anger. Well, quick to anger means he's basically what you call little dick syndrome. He's probably more quick to anger with women than he is with men, other than your mother. But he takes out all his inadequacies as a man and with your mother on you, because You're the easiest female target and the most convenient to him. I feel that he sacrificed my childhood to save his dream of the perfect family. Now he defends his whore fucking wife, if I can say anything to her, even to defend her, even to defend myself. Well, yeah, because you're a child to him. You're a piece of property. Who are you to say anything against her? Because you fighting her is only going to blow back on him, and he's going to have to fucking listen to it. So that's coming from. Because he's a little man. He should have left years ago, but he's caught up in his own narcissism and his own spells here. Now, some people say he's narcissistic or codependent. He is. Even a friend of our family, a mother who studied psychology and helped me here and there before she left, at least tried to, stated that my father seems, I'm sorry, this is very difficult to read. It's a big paragraph. Even a friend of our family, a mother who studied psychology and helped me here and there before she left, at least tried to, stated that my father seems somewhat narcissistic. I'm just confused. Then some narcissist says he's codependent. Then some therapist says he's codependent. Because along with feeling sorry for himself, he feels sorry for his poor wife who needs help. And now I need to make an effort to save the family. Okay, you see, your father is a narcissist because this is the same game my father played. Your father's playing the poor me, look at me with this crazy wife, pity, 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 pity. He's a pity party narcissist. Okay, and it's bullshit. I would venture to guess your father's more dangerous than your mother is because he's got this illusion that he's fooling people with his pity party. I feel like he sacrificed my childhood to save his dream of the perfect family, and now he defends his whore fucking wife. And I realize I've already read this once. If I say anything to her, even to defend myself, even when I knew I was brainwashed by her, and that's why I was angry at him, he would tell me that I am the cause for all our problems and call me a narcissist when I am constantly terrified of becoming a narcissist, and he knows that. Until I realize the truth for myself, no thanks to his trifled ass. Okay. See, now your father knows what narcissism is. Okay, so I would venture to guess he's talked to somebody's called him a narcissist, and he's now projecting, because he knows what narcissism is if he's calling you a narcissist, and he sees all those characteristics on himself. So that's why he's trying to push it on you so nobody realizes he's the real narcissist. I try to respect myself, and therefore I do not respect her. If she gets in my way, I straight up tell her to go fuck herself. I am still so confused. I thought my father was good, then bad, then my mom is good. Oh no, she's bad. My dad is good. Wait, my dad is a narcissist too? No, I am just paranoid about everyone being a narcissist, it seems. Hypervigilance, perhaps. I am sure of my father's lack of empathy, though, I think. He has cried for me, but just a few days ago, my grandmother died, and he didn't seem sad. So I asked, are you even sad? And he said verbatim, what am I supposed to cry? What am I supposed to cry or something? And he stated, if I were to cry for anyone, it would be for myself. Wow. I asked him once, who do you feel sorry for the most? And he said, myself. But then I remember once when he cried for me. He didn't do it to control me. He never cries. And he's embarrassed about crying. Confusing. Okay. I will ask you this. When he cried, did you see any actual tears? Because these are narcissists. Will cry for attention and to get their way. But when you look at them, they're the driest, it's the driest crying you've ever seen. Okay, and the fact that he would say he only will cry for himself, wow. Wow. I am just locked in my room all day and no one seems to pay attention to me. Then occasionally my dad acts nice and says he wants to hang out with me. And he just drops his emotional baggage and problems like I'm his fucking priority or patient or parent. He constantly says that I have to appreciate my family, that family is blood and you have no one else but us. And that is bullshit. Because that's the same bullshit my father used to about this family. And then when you analyze the rest of the family, I realize the rest of the family can't stand my father either. Okay, this whole family thing is, if I were to venture to guess, that your father really isn't as close to his family that he wants to be, because they all kind of keep him at an arm's distance. And that's where this family is blood thing is coming from. And it's to make you feel like you have nowhere else to go, you have nowhere else to turn to, okay, and to keep you dependent on him. The police did nothing because one time I called 911 after my mother spit in my face, punched me excessively, and spurred horrible lies my way, and then looked in my face and said, "I will never forgive you for what you did to me." In the middle of a panic attack, I was locked in my goddamn room with my brother and called 911. And they just hung up on me while my mother was banging on the door saying she wants to kill me. I am so unbelievably tired, so tired. The police I contacted again the next day and again a week later still did nothing. The social workers showed up and still did nothing. Just wrote down in their oh so important books that I suffered from emotional abuse, then basically told me to deal with it. The police, I'll never forget, were at our house at one point and told me to go for a long walk the next time I get angry. And being unempathetic to my panic attack about my mother, lying to the police, told me, "If you don't calm down, you can leave the house." What do I do? I would say I have only one year and I can handle it, but every day is filled with pain and abuse. I can't turn to anyone. Can't get emancipation because my parents haven't allowed me to become financially independent. A story I thought I would mention. Okay. I'm wondering why the police won't help you. If she's banging on the door, what I would suggest you do is start recording everything in your house. That way you have video proof. Okay, if your mother's banging on the door, I would keep my phone. If you have a phone, I imagine everybody has a phone. I would be recording anything on time I'm out of my room. And the next time they do it, you have them. Okay, and if your mother comes at you, don't call the police. Go to the police station. Go to school. You got to have counselors. You got to have child services. There's got to be a way for you to get somebody to pay attention. With video evidence, it's going to help more. You can't let them know your video because they will come after you, that phone and try to get it from you. And look, narcissistic parents are always going to try to keep you from becoming financially independent. That's what my parents did. That's the control. You need to be planning a way to get out. And like, if it's as bad as you say it is, okay, I would be looking to move out, move somewhere by my 18th birthday and just bolt. It's not as difficult as you think it is. And being, 18, 19, it'll be easier for you to get a job or go. I don't know what your plans are if you're going to school, if you're going to get a job. But you should be able to get a job, find a living situation with some people in a new place away from them and never look back. A story I thought I would mention from a year ago. I don't know what the fuck happened still, but at the time I was under the control of my mother's lies. I woke up early one morning and heard my mother asking my father, "What did you put in my eggs?" And he said, just the powder at the bottom of my vitamin bottle. Then she started accusing him of trying to drug her so she wouldn't be able to study for a test she was trying to finish. I went to bed. He ate the eggs to prove that he didn't put anything in them. She didn't believe him. So I won't get this part. But then she went to her friend's house with a drink, eggs, and told her, this is my special recipe. Her friend ate, drank whatever it was, and started vomiting and fell asleep a few hours later. Apparently, my mother kept going to her house to ask if she was feeling okay. Later, the friend confronted this sick being and was upset and asked why she did this. And you won't believe this. My mother was confused as to why the woman was mad, literally unaware of other people. Here's the punchline. That stupid test she was accusing my father of attempting to ruin was a licensing exam to be a therapist. She has 2 master's degrees in psychology, but was never able to finish that test. She never learned a thing, but I am still confused as to what the hell happened because everyone, including that friend, gave a different version of the story. Even my father. Damn. I don't even want to try to figure out what happened. I could tell countless stories like that. Her sadism is overwhelmingly apparent. You know, my grandmother was an extreme sadist, and that seems like it would be something she would do, is try to make people sick and poison them. If your mother has a double degree in psychology and a licensing degree to be a therapist, they are well aware of what they're doing, and they're well aware of narcissism. I would almost venture to guess your mother wanted to be poisoned so she didn't have to take that exam, because your mother hates herself and your mother doesn't believe her own success. So she was hoping your father was going to. I don't understand why she would poison her own friend, and if she did, why her friend didn't call the cops and have her arrested. I mean, this is just crazy. Her sadism is overwhelmingly apparent. My parents are literally insane. My father, I don't know. I just don't know what to think about anything anymore. I remember a few times he stood up to my mother, but sometimes she would call me horrible names and my brother as well. And I would tell him, and he would literally do nothing. Well, because as long as he's calling you and him names, she ain't calling him. As long as she's calling you and your brother names, she's not yelling at your father. And then, I don't know nothing, or he can join up on the fun. Who knows? But then again, he doesn't stand up for himself. No, well, he stands up for himself pretty well when he's berating you, though. Your father's just a big coward, and he's a covert narcissist. But I go because I have to try. But anytime I heal a bit, the wound is opened back up the same week, which is their plan. Even when I'm not in that god-awful house, I'm being haunted by my parents' judgment. Medication hasn't worked. I am caught in these occasional wave of occasional psychosis from the stress. My depression is killing me. Constant nightmares, acid reflux so bad I can't sleep. I feel horrible. I am so goddamn tired. So tired. I just don't know. I have noticed that even my writing got sloppier and more disorganized, going in weird tangents. But the more I had to try to express the pain. I can't even think or write about this stuff without going blank a lot of the time. That's a defense mechanism. I don't know how you will respond, but I will greatly appreciate it, Mr. Matthews. Thank you for reading my message. I hope you keep making videos. Okay, well, you got 2 of the worst type of narcissists. You got sadistic, sexually aggressive, verbally aggressive, physically aggressive, able to lie to the police. You need to be planning your escape for when you turn 18. That's the best advice. I don't know what your plans are for the future, for college, But the day you turn 18 should be the last day you spend in that house. If everything you're telling me is true and accurate, and I have no reason to disbelieve you because what you're saying is so familiar to me, and you're either the greatest, storyteller, okay, and have studied narcissism so well that you're able to lie your way through it, or you're telling the truth. I mean, I think you're telling the truth. So just based on what's going on here, this isn't going to stop. This is only going to get worse as you get older. They're going to try to keep you as a victim your whole life. They're going to try to keep you as the black sheep. So really, the best advice I could give you is record every interaction with your parents when you see it going bad. Set your phone up to record very easily without letting them know you're recording. That way you have it, because video and audio is irrefutable, and the police are going to have to do something. Because if you call the police with your parents doing shit like this and they do nothing, they become liable, as does the state. Now, the social worker coming in, you might be in a better situation being removed from the house, but I don't know if you have other friends or family to go live with. This is very difficult because you are underage and you are under the age of 18. But I thought this was important because this is the stuff we've all dealt with, even though it's mostly adults I'm dealing with on my channel. We're dealing with stuff that we went through as children in our adolescence and teen years. So thank you for your message. I'm sorry I'm having a hard time reading it, but it was very long. It wasn't really in the paragraphs. So my best advice to you, dear, is to plan your escape at 18. Figure out a way out. And what I found is GoFundMe is a great asset. So maybe if you start your own blog, to your friends and do some donations, you can get a moving fund for an apartment, moving fees for whatever you need. If you start now, it'll build up pretty quickly. But that's the best advice I could give you, and I wish you luck. Thank you to everybody who's watched the video. I appreciate it. I'm sorry it went on so long, but I wanted to do this right because this is a young girl going through what most of us have gone through many years ago. So I thought it was important. I thought it was important to hear somebody going through it right now, the stuff we went through at a younger age. So I hope it helped. I hope it helped some other people. Again, please support the channel by donating to the GoFundMe. Even a share helps. The link is in the description box. This is Ollie Matthews. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again real soon.